The train didn't arrive clean. It dragged itself into the station like something wounded. Metal screamed against metal, steam spilling into the cold air, like the world itself was tired of carrying what was inside. People stepped down quickly, boots hitting wood, voices rising, movement everywhere. Everyone eager to belong somewhere, to start something new. But one figure didn't move. Not yet. Lydia Crow sat still inside the carriage, hands trembling in her lap, fingers gripping the thin fabric of her dress, like she was trying to hold herself together before something inside her came apart. She had been crying for hours. Now the tears came quieter, slower, like even her sorrow was exhausted. She had imagined this moment, not happy, not hopeful, but at least clear. Instead, everything felt wrong. A place she had never seen, a man she had never met, a life she had never chosen. "Miss, this is your stop." The conductor stood near the door, waiting. She nodded, but didn't move, because stepping off that train meant there was nowhere left to hide. Outside, the land stretched wide, endless, unforgiving, the sky pale, the air dry, the kind of place where people either hardened or broke. Caleb Ward stood near the railing, still, not watching the crowd, watching her. He had arrived early, not because he was eager, because he believed if something mattered, you were there before it began. He didn't shift, didn't fidget, didn't look away, just stood, steady, like part of the land itself. When Lydia finally stood, her legs almost gave out. She caught herself, barely. Step by step, she moved toward the door, then down, boots touching ground, like it might disappear beneath her. And for a moment, she just stood there, surrounded. Voices, movement, eyes, all of them on her. She felt it, every glance, every judgment, like the world could see every broken piece she was trying to hide. And then it broke. The tears came back, not quiet this time, not controlled. They tore through her, raw, sudden, violent, like something inside her had finally given up pretending. People stopped, some stared, some looked away, some whispered. No one stepped forward. Except him. Caleb walked toward her, not fast, not hesitant, measured, like approaching something fragile, not weak. When she looked up, their eyes met. There was no softness in hers, no hope, just fear, exhaustion, and something deeper, something that had already given up. Caleb stopped a few steps away, didn't reach out, didn't crowd her, just stood there and said, "You don't have to pretend." That was all. No explanation, no pressure, no demand for her to be anything other than what she was. And that broke her more than anything else. Her face collapsed into her hands. The crying came harder now, deeper, uncontrolled, like something buried for too long had finally been allowed to breathe. Caleb didn't move closer, didn't touch her. He understood something simple. Pain forced open closes tighter. Pain given space sometimes begins to heal. When her breathing finally slowed, just enough, he stepped closer, held out a canteen. "Drink." She hesitated, then reached for it. Their fingers brushed, just for a second, and even that startled her. Not because it was rough, because it wasn't. They stood there, in the open air, two strangers, bound by something neither of them fully understood yet. Then Caleb turned. "We should go." He didn't ask, didn't insist, just started walking. And after a moment, she followed, because there was nowhere else left to go. The wagon rolled forward, leaving the station behind. Wood creaked, leather pulled tight, and just like that, everything Lydia had known was gone. She didn't look back again, not because she didn't want to, but because she couldn't. Some things, if you looked at them too long, pulled you back. The land opened wide around them, dry grass stretching in every direction, no trees close enough to hide behind, no buildings, no people, just sky and distance. Too much of it. For a while, neither of them spoke. The silence sat between them, not empty, heavy. Lydia kept her hands in her lap, fingers still gripping fabric, like letting go might change something. Finally, she spoke. "Why?" Caleb didn't look at her. "Why what?" "Why did you send for me?" Her voice trembled, but there was something sharper underneath, something searching. Caleb thought about it, not quickly, not carelessly. "Because I needed someone real." The words didn't land the way she expected. She let out a hollow breath. "You don't know anything about me." "I know enough." That made her turn. "What do you think you know?" Caleb glanced at her briefly, then back at the road. "That you're not weak." That almost made her laugh, but it caught in her throat. "You don't know that." "No, but I know what it looks like." Silence fell again, but it felt different now, not heavier, sharper. "People who are weak," Caleb continued quietly, "don't survive what you have." That hit deeper, because he wasn't guessing, he was seeing, and that was more dangerous than judgment. The sun dipped lower, shadows stretched long across the land. By the time the ranch came into view, it felt like another world. The house stood alone, not small, but not welcoming either, just there. A barn to the side, fencing running far out into the distance. No neighbors, no sound, nothing to soften it. Lydia stepped down slowly, boots touching dirt. The silence hit her first. Not peaceful, heavy, like the land itself was watching. "This is it," Caleb said simply. She looked at the house, then the horizon, then back at him. "This is where I'm supposed to live?" "If you choose to." The answer came without hesitation. That stopped her. "I don't have a choice." Caleb turned slightly, looked at her, not sharply, not judging, just steady. "You always have a choice." She almost argued. The words rose, then disappeared, because deep down, she wasn't sure anymore. The first days were quiet, too quiet. Everything felt wrong. The way she moved, the way she spoke, the way she held herself. She waited for correction, for the sharp tone, the disappointment, the reminder that she wasn't enough. But it never came. Caleb showed her things once, then stepped back, let her try. When she hesitated, he didn't push. When she failed, he didn't react. And that confused her more than anger ever could. One evening, she dropped a bucket, water spilling into the dirt. She froze, waiting for it. The voice, the correction, the moment. Everything turned against her again. Caleb walked over, picked up the bucket, filled it, then handed it back. Try again. That was all. No edge, no weight, no expectation. Something twisted in her chest, sharp, unfamiliar, because she didn't know how to exist in a place where mistakes weren't punished. And that was the beginning of something she didn't understand yet, but couldn't ignore. The change didn't come all at once. It slipped in, quietly. In the way Lydia walked across the yard, without looking over her shoulder. In the way her hands stopped trembling when Caleb stood nearby. In the way silence no longer felt like danger. But peace is fragile, and the past doesn't forget. The storm came without warning. The sky darkened fast, like something closing in. The air shifted, heavy, charged. Lydia froze, not because of the storm, because of what it felt like. The sound, the pressure, the sudden loss of control. It pulled her back, somewhere she had buried. The bucket slipped from her hands, water spreading across the dirt, but she didn't see it. She wasn't there anymore. Her breathing quickened, shallow, fast. Her vision blurred. And then she dropped, curled into herself, arms wrapped tight, like she was trying to disappear. No, not again. The storm roared outside, but inside, something worse had already arrived. Caleb saw it immediately. He didn't rush, didn't grab her. He knew better. He crouched a few feet away, close enough, but not forcing it. Lydia. No response. Her eyes were open, but not seeing him. She's gone, most people would think, but he knew she wasn't gone. She was somewhere else, and she needed a way back. Lydia, you're here. Her head shook slightly. No, it's happening again. Caleb moved a little closer, still careful. Look at me. She couldn't, not at first, but his voice didn't push, didn't demand. It held, steady, unmoving. Slowly, painfully, her eyes shifted and found him. The storm cracked again, but this time she didn't disappear. You're not there, Caleb said. You're here, with me. Something in her caught onto that, not fully, but enough. Her breathing slowed, just a fraction. The panic loosened, just a little. She leaned forward, strength gone. Caleb didn't pull her in, didn't hold her tight. He stayed, close enough to keep her grounded. Time stretched, slow. Her breathing steadied. The storm outside faded into background noise, and she came back. For a while, neither of them spoke. The air felt different now. Not tense, not fragile, just real. Why? Lydia whispered. Caleb didn't ask what she meant. He already knew. Why are you like this? He looked toward the window. Because I know what it's like to have no one. That landed deeper than anything else. Lydia turned her head slightly. You had no one? Caleb didn't answer right away. Then, quietly, I did. Until I didn't. She studied him, not fully understanding, but feeling it. What changed? He looked back at her. I decided it would stop with me. That stayed. Not loud, not dramatic, but solid, like something she could hold on to. The storm passed eventually. The sky cleared, but something else had already changed. Days turned into weeks, and Lydia began to move differently. Less hesitation, less fear. One morning, she laughed. Just once. Light. Real. She froze, surprised by it, like she didn't recognize the sound. Caleb looked over. A small, almost invisible smile touched his face. There it is. She frowned slightly. What? You. She didn't fully understand, but she felt it. For the first time, she wasn't pretending, and maybe she didn't have to anymore. The peace didn't last. It never does. That afternoon, the air felt wrong. Too still, too quiet, like the land itself was holding its breath. Lydia felt it first, not in her mind, in her body. She froze, her eyes fixed on the horizon. A rider, coming straight toward the ranch, slow, deliberate, like he already knew she wouldn't run. Caleb noticed her before he saw the man. What is it? She didn't answer. Couldn't, because she already knew. He found her. The rider got closer, dust trailing behind him, and when he stopped, his eyes went straight to her. There you are. The words hit like something cold. Lydia stepped back instinctively. No. Caleb moved forward. Not fast, not aggressive, just enough to stand between them. Who are you? The man smirked. Someone who came to take back what's mine. Silence dropped hard. Lydia shook her head, faster now. No, I'm not going back. Her voice broke, but she didn't step away. Not this time. Caleb didn't look at her. Didn't need to. She's not going anywhere. The man's smile faded slightly. You don't understand. She was bought. The word hung there, heavy, ugly. Lydia flinched, just slightly, but she didn't collapse, didn't disappear. Caleb's expression didn't change. Not anymore. The man shifted in his saddle, eyes narrowing. You think you can keep her? That was the moment. Lydia's hand moved, without thinking, gripping Caleb's arm, tight, not hiding behind him, holding on. Please. It was the first time she had asked him for anything, and that was enough. Caleb stepped forward, fully now, solid, unmoving. You need to leave. The man leaned forward slightly. Or what? Caleb didn't raise his voice, didn't shift. Or you won't. The air snapped, like something stretched too far. For a second, no one moved. The man looked at Caleb, really looked this time, not at his words, at his stillness, at the fact he wasn't bluffing. Something changed. Calculation. Doubt. Finally, he scoffed, pulled back on the reins. This isn't over. Then he turned, riding off, dust trailing behind him. The moment held, even after he was gone. Lydia's grip loosened, slowly, and then she collapsed, not from fear, from release. Caleb caught her before she hit the ground, steady, careful. You're safe. She shook her head, tears breaking through. You don't understand. They won't stop. Caleb crouched in front of her, eye level. Then we don't run. That hit differently, because it wasn't protection, it was a decision. She looked at him, searching. Why? Why would you do this for me? His answer came without hesitation. Because you matter. That broke something in her, but not the same way as before. Not collapse. Release. The tears came, harder now, faster. Years of silence, of fear, of being treated like something owned, finally breaking loose. And Caleb stayed. Didn't interrupt, didn't fix, didn't pull her out of it. Just stayed. And that changed everything. Because when she stood again, she didn't stand the same way. Not like someone waiting to be taken, not like someone hiding, but like someone who had chosen to stay and wasn't leaving again. Time didn't fix everything, but it changed something. The ranch stayed the same. Same fences, same sky, same quiet stretching across the land. But Lydia didn't. She moved differently now. Not faster, not stronger, just steadier. The way she walked across the yard, without scanning the horizon. The way her hands no longer trembled when voices rose. The way silence felt like something she could stay inside, not something she had to escape. The days settled into rhythm. Work, rest, sunrise, sunset. Simple things. But they didn't feel empty anymore. They felt chosen. People still passed by sometimes. Some looked, some whispered, some remembered. But no one came back for her. And even if they had, she wasn't the same woman they left behind. One evening, the sky stretched wide in gold, the kind of quiet that didn't press. It held. Lydia stood beside the fence, looking out. Not searching, just there. Caleb stepped up beside her, same as always. Not in front, not behind. Beside. I was pretending before, Lydia said quietly. Caleb nodded once. I know. She looked at him. But I'm not anymore. That landed different. Not like a confession, like a decision. Caleb studied her for a moment, then nodded again. I know. No questions, no doubt, just recognition. A small smile formed on her lips, not forced, not careful, real. For the first time, she didn't feel like she had to hold it together, or prove something, or survive the moment. She was just there. And that was enough. The sun dipped lower. The land stretched out in front of them, wide, endless. But it didn't feel overwhelming anymore. It felt open, like something she could step into instead of something she had to endure. She exhaled slowly, letting something go she hadn't realized she was still carrying. I thought I needed to be saved. Caleb didn't answer. He didn't interrupt, because he already knew she wasn't asking. She was understanding. I didn't, she said. That was the truth. Simple, heavy, real, and for the first time, it didn't scare her. Caleb looked out across the land, then back at her. You found it. Lydia shook her head slightly. No, I chose it. That was the difference. The wind moved gently through the grass, no longer sharp, no longer cutting. Just there, like everything else. She didn't look back, not at the past, not at what had chased her here, because for the first time, she wasn't running anymore. She was staying. And this time, she didn't have to pretend.